we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the arguably biggest grid I have ever seen. We're here in the RWB Big Grid. And trust me, it is big. Currently, 100 cars are signed up. Currently, about 80 on track. Beginning the qualifying session, I've got with me my friend Racer Soul.
Hello, Rod. Thanks for the start. And yeah, it's the biggest grid I think ever for this kind of race.
Absolutely. For me, the biggest I have ever seen, and what better place to do it than arguably the best track, in my opinion, Suzuka here in ACC, and the first laps are already underway. Now, with these big grids, as it was in the previous big grid race in Spa, getting a lap without traffic is going to be key to get up into those top steps, especially with this incredible amount of cars on a tight, full of twists and turns track as is this one.
I don't think it's actually going to be physically possible. You have 100 cars, and each of them is like 3 meters long. Let's say it that way. I think it will be a real problem to get a clean lap in. Is what we are talking about. As you can see, one of the Mercedes already off track. Let's say drivers will have to be really careful about each other.
Yep. Okay. Alright, and for the viewers, remember that pitwall.live can give you live timing about everything that's going on in the track, on all of the laps being put in. So if you want some extra info on what each car is doing, or you are supporting a specific car and want to see how it does throughout the race and throughout the quality, you've got pitwall.live and you can access the race there. Alright, and the first few laps are in, and we're starting with a 2:03.4. That is definitely going to start going down. We've seen some 2:02s in the free practice session. It's impossible to say which car is going to be dominant in this specific track right now. Though, and the same... I suppose in the same route as the Spa race, there's going to be the cars that depend on raw pace, such as the Mercedes Evo, or cars that depend more on fuel strategy, such as the Bentley or the Nissan. They gave us some serious competition.
Well, we are looking at the grid that is made up of different skill sets. You could say some aliens.
Right, absolutely got. Yeah, absolutely got some extraterrestrial vehicles being driven through Suzuka today with that 2:01.3 from the 23 Lexus. Speaking of, my. Right, we're currently 6 minutes into the qualifying session, Our current top 5 is Wiens in the Lexus with a 2013, Nepone in the AMG Evo with a 201.9, Anthony Terhorst with a 202.1, just got into P3. We've got Marcus Hartmann with a 202.5. Oh, and it seems Schuler just took a P4 position in the Aston Martin. So those are our contenders at the moment for the big steps. And here it's going to be extremely important to get a good position, especially with such a huge grid. If there is an accident in turn 1, and unfortunately, as much as I appreciate the respect and the race mentality that our racers here have, it's inevitable that some mistake will be done or some connection issue will happen. So turn 1 is going to be a bit problematic to go through, which is why it's even more important than normal to get a good high position to avoid all of the clutter in the first few corners.
Yeah, with grids like this, it's just inevitable that something will happen.
We've
But,
already...
you know,
Yeah?
we might be up to some surprises.
Oh yeah, with these races, always surprises. Same with Spa. I believe it was Verstappen who is in the split, by the way. Who we saw, I believe, was in a Honda NSX and led the race for a few laps in Spa. I'm not too sure if that was Verstappen, but he was definitely somewhere up there, even if not in the same car. We saw also Nissan's going through the fuel strategy to get the advantage, though, of course, Mercedes AMG Evo ended up taking the flag. A very powerful car, but I don't think it has that much of an upper hand here in Suzuka. I would say the Lexus has the best chance of getting some good times here in Suzuka, and we can see already P1 got Lexus, P5, P6, P7, all of them are Lexus. Always been a good car in this track.
Yeah, definitely. Handling cars will have some advantage in the first part of the circuit with the S's. The corners that just demand having a good front end, having the bite.
Yeah.
Car. But, you know, if you have a car like the BMW or Nissan, and you are in front of someone who has handling car, you have a really good chance of staying in front on the rest of the circuit. Because I don't think it's a circuit you can just go with one way, like going only with the handling, because you are going to suffer on the straights.
Right, car selection and also car setup are going to be huge, because Suzuka's corners, this big straights, there's 130R, you have to have the handling and the speed to go through all of those corners without losing time. And I think here, the biggest victim here is absolutely, in my opinion, going to be the Ferrari Evo. That's just been showing a total lack of power and handling in these past few races. And overall, it just seems to be a weaker alternative to the other cars we're seeing here on the grid. The highest position Ferrari at the moment is Dahlgren in P19. So top 20 Ferraris. And meanwhile, we've got things like the Nissans. We've got a bunch of Mercedes. Even some Aston Martins, Bentleys and McLarens. Some individual cars have made it up there. But yet, no BMWs, no Ferraris. It's going to be a big challenge to get those types of cars through this track faster than the Lexus or the AMG. But you never know.
Well, we shall see what the people come up with. We've seen drivers just going rocket fast. Even the real life records are going to be shaking.
Yeah.
We're looking at some people.
Absolutely. Speaking of shaking, I might just get a panic attack. Wiens in the 23 Lexus 200.4, and that is 1 second faster than the P2 time. That's insane. What a lap.
What a lap indeed. But still we have 80 minutes to go. Some people just heating up, some people just maybe running
So if we can we maybe get on board with one of the top 10 cars making some laps at the moment. See if we can see what lines they are taking right now to see if they can possibly get close to the 2:00 time that's just been broken by the 23 Lexus. And I gotta say, I've been to a lot of races in Suzuka. I think I've rarely ever seen a 2:00, let alone a 0.4. Jeez. Again, we've got some cars leaving the pits once again to make another run. We've got Schuler right now, 113 Aston, holding on to that P10 from Schaefer in the 14 Ferrari. And guess somebody wanted to prove me wrong, and that is a Ferrari Evo from Schaefer going P10. And, well, you know, same thing as Spa. You've got some Jaguars, you've got some Honda and SXs, and you never know. Someone might just manage to get these cars that are underperforming in specific tracks, set them up somehow, or get a perfect line and get all the way up to the top steps. We've seen plenty of that in the Spa race. And speaking of the Spa race, we had Shula in the Spa race, which I believe was another Honda driver, and they're bringing back that car once again, and there it is in P2. These oddball cars that some of us hate, I know I do, but some people just are absolutely, well, extraterrestrial with these cars.
It might be also specialization, you know, some people just like some car, the way it handles, or just the way it looks, the way it sounds. Many drivers just go and choose their car because of how they favor it.
True. You don't always choose a car based on how good it is in that specific track. If you like driving a specific car, then, well, you'll go for that. Personally, I have a bit of an obsession with the Porsche and the Aston Martin, but in some tracks they falter, but with some proper experience and some proper setup, which I unfortunately don't have, some people can take it really, really quick. And that is 15 minutes in qualifying, and yet nobody has gotten even close to that 2:00 time. If Wiens can replicate those times in race, it is going to be impossible to catch him.
Well, he might be fast, but remember, he will get what? 3 laps of clean air? 5 maybe at best, before they start catching up to the slow cars. And the lap traffic can be your demise. We've seen it multiple times, over and over.
Oh yeah, lapping cars, a nightmare. But those first few laps, if he can put out 1 second per lap, he's already got enough of an advantage where, sure, he's got traffic in front, but he's going to have traffic behind that the people behind him are going to have to deal with. So in the end, it's just going to be everyone is going to be slower overall because of the traffic. But raw pace, well, it's just going to really be an advantage if you're playing the short game where they want to secure P1 very early into this 90-minute race and just going all out in the first stint, and then nobody can catch them. It's something we saw with the AMG Evos in the Spa Big Grid race. And right, currently, only oddball cars that I'm seeing that I wasn't really expecting to get up in the top 10, only the Honda, but I mean, Schula's driving, so I'm not exactly that surprised. And yeah, we were just on with Edouard Wiens there, just going around the. It's incredible how some people can pull seconds off from the rest of the guys, but oh my, some people are just made for this. Rafael Lemke in the 1 Lamborghini enters P8. We've got Hawa in the Aston Martin P6, and clinching P4 at the moment in the 420 nice AMG. And we've got some drivers currently in our chat after finishing their first few quali laps. We've got Farley currently in P5 that says, I lucked out on the traffic. It was actually a rubbish lap. So, well, making it into P5, absolutely an awesome place to start from, considering currently we've got 96 cars in here. So P5 going to be a breeze to start the race, unless you've got some cruise missile coming up from behind you. That'll be down to reflexes and positioning. So yeah, that's from Phil Varley.
Well, someone will need a cruise missile, because wins with a 2 minute 0.4 is already faster than a Super Pole that was set by Augusto Farfus in a BMW in the last year's Suzuka 10 hours.
Oh my goodness, yeah. The only cruise missile we've got right now is Weens, and quoting Fernando Alonso, they're going to need a rocket ship to get anywhere close to that guy.
I think that is just installed GP2 engine.
Speaking of GP2 engine, top McLaren at the moment, Snell Train butchered that name, P16 in the 60 McLaren. That's the highest McLaren we've got. Currently following Schuler once again, driving in the team Logistical Nightmare. Currently P18 was a lot higher a few minutes before, but seems to be dropping a little bit. Maybe he can get it back on this lap, perhaps the next, see what he's got in store for us. Stays P20 for the moment. We'll see what he brings in the next few laps. And
Plate jumping from P78 all the way to the P20. And just look at the lap times.
Yeah, oh my.
Just gaps plus 1.9, 2.0, 2.0, 2.1, 2.1, 2.2. Gaining a second will probably just rocket ship you up 20 places at this point.
We're getting some reports of some cars choosing not to quali due to technical issues. And some, well, we've got, for example, Martin Pater has currently decided not to do quali, and we've got some other cars that just can't take the absolute size of this grid, unable to enter the race. But still, we've got signed up 96 of the 100 cars. We'll see how many can start the race. But yeah, performance nightmare for some of those lower end PCs going into this 100 grid race with all these cars together. And even if your car render distance is too low, you're not going to be able to see what's happens at the start, who you got in front of, who you got behind. And if it's too high, well, you might even suffer a crash. So it's a bit of a balance in performance. But good news is, server appears to be working perfectly fine, and all of the laps are just going through. Of course, we've got some people going off track doing the rallycross line, but I would say that's just their fault.
You just have to explore your limits, and sometimes even the tarmac is not the limit.
So, Racer, you said you recognized some names in this grid right now. Who do you think is going to give us a star performance we don't expect, if any?
Star performance, out of 96 cars, I think star performance will be the one that survives. We are looking at Mr. Sjöblom in number 747, so hopefully he does not have any plans to take off. Certain point of the race.
Right on, and yes, you can have raw pace, but as Racer said, if you can't make it through the first corner, you're going to have a real tough time getting up there. And, oh man. Nobody even getting close to that 2:00 time. Oh my.
Well,
And
some people are just getting closer, as you
yeah.
say. We
So,
just had 3 cars just shot up into the top 5.
yeah.
Nepone in 75 Mercedes currently the closest on 20.5. We might even get to 159s. What do you think, Rod?
Ooh, just had a. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we've got some people getting real close. Got Nepone, Tverayan, and Varley and P4 now. All of them breaking the 1 second gap. We might even see some. Maybe going faster than our current pole sitter. I think the only one that could get away with that is a Lexus or someone with real knowledge of the line with a different car. Currently, we're looking at the P24 McLaren of Snell Train looking through the midfield. Oof, that's not the line, buddy. To that car that just went off track. And
we'll get it to the finish.
Yeah, that's a very good point. In endurance races, I wouldn't consider 90 minutes to be endurance. For 4-hour races and longer, a friend of mine says the first objective is to finish, and then later we can see where we finished, but first don't break the car. And I think in such a crowded track, I think the most important thing is that war of attrition. Whoever doesn't crash, whoever doesn't have an accident, whoever judges better the actions of the other drivers on track tonight will be victorious. Or if he just has raw pace and just goes 1 second quicker than everybody else, that also seems to do the trick, as Wiens has just proven to us. And Phil Varley improves on his, quote, rubbish lap by being P3.
Yeah, rubbish lap.
Yeah, rubbish lap. Maybe, I'm not too sure I would call it that particularly, but sure. Currently following Frank Van Roon in P22. I'm glad that didn't become an accident, because that was some serious sliding happening from that car in front. But Van Roon's lap continues, racing for Racing Dudes Motorsport in all caps, because it has to be.
The most racing out of any racing.
The most dude out of any dude in the paddock right now. Racing Dudes. Currently P23.
Can we be sure he's a dude?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Only
permission at this point.
only dudes get to be racing dudes. Real dudes. Oh, Jesus. Right. Forget it. So, right now we've got 73 cars that have put in a time. And, well, we've only got about 10 seconds of gap between the pole sitter and the 73rd car right now. Just 10 seconds of difference. It's not that big for such a high amount of cars. So we're going to have a real tight race start for sure.
Oh, at this point, it's either you qualify in top 10 or you start in a pit lane. Might be safer.
I think just finishing a lap will be enough to get at least P80 at the moment with all of those. Yep, and
Edward Vanes just doing
0.2.
There's a car park at your local Tesco in Suzuka.
Yeah. Yeah, Wins just narrowly dodging all of the cars that forgot which direction the track goes on, but just goes on through like a professional, and down he goes. And 200.2 doesn't seem to have enough with having half a second on the P2, wants to keep it going, and well, anytime is good time right now. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go on this qualifying session, and then we will have our final grid. At the moment, Shula in the Honda has dropped all the way down to P8. Currently, P3 is Varley, P2 is Napone in the 75 Mercedes, and Wiens has not yet been removed from that pole position.
As we have more cars just off the road trying to get away from those who are on a fast lap. And Nissan just...
Off goes the Nissan taking the rallycross line, but good judgment of the rejoin, and Christopher damn it! The 58 Mercedes continuing that run for P4, P5 right now, just got taken away with someone else. Let's have a look at another NSX. We've got Kruger, familiar face here in the RWB Big Grid. Samuel Kruger goes P13 in that Honda NSX. And I'm noticing a lack of weird cars up there. Of course, we got the Hondas, but in Spa there were Jaguars, and there was a V12 Aston Martins going really high and actually having a good chance to end in the top 5 in the previous Big Grid race. But here, everyone's gone for some serious strategies. Go Lexus or Nissan or AMG, go full power. And only...
I'm surprised we don't see like Audi or Lamborghini. The highest Lamborghini, P17.
Rafael Lemke started off with a good lap, but everyone else has just been, oh my goodness. Smith in the AMG...
Oh no, did you do that?
Rich Smith in the 20 Mercedes has just done the exact same time as Edward Wiens with a 200.270. And wow, that must stink. He's going to have to do that all over again, and that could totally be Smith's last chance of getting that pole position. And,
well, it was because we can see Smith in the pit lane.
Entered the pit lane, and oh man, that is tight. But unfortunately, Wiens put in the lap first. Therefore, he's going to be keeping that pole position for now. Could we see someone rising up from nowhere and taking that away? Well, we've got someone who's equal to time so far. Here we've got Kirtan, who's just ended their last fast lap, and back into the pits we go. We've got plenty of people returning to the pits, happy with where they are. So,
stay happy.
Well, happy. Well, mostly happy. As the lower you go, I think the less hope there is. But you never know. I've seen people start from the back all the way to the top. It just happens.
What position would make you happy in this qualifying?
Oh.
Let's say you are in P35. Would you be happy, Rod?
That was P35. I would be surprised I even put in a lap.
That's why we are here and not on the
Yeah. We've got Varley that says, good luck, guys. I'm off now. And of course, well, someone's got to drive the car, Varley. And obviously has to be you, considering how high up you got it. So wish you a good turn 1 in this race.
It is a hell of a turn 1. Probably one of the most dangerous first corners we could have.
Absolutely. Checkered flag is out. And we've got the final 2 minutes left for all the cars to finish their laps and go back into the pit lane. And we're going to read out currently our top 10. Wiens, P1, Smith in second, Tavarian. Oh man, the 58 Mercedes narrowly takes P3. and with a 200.6. So that's a P3, P4 Nippone, and P5 Farley, Ellis in the Nissan, P6, and what I said, Radek Shula, P7 in that Honda NSX. What I'm saying, these some people can just get the arguably uh, less powerful cars and just bring it up there. Alex Rogers, P8 in the 119 Mercedes. Another Honda in top 10 with Samuel Kruger in P9, and Schublum completes our current top 10. And here we are, about to start our race session, and everyone's going to line up on the grid. We're going to begin the most, I predict to be the most chaotic, convoluted, and populated crash we're ever going to be seeing on live on live.
Well,
Well,
starting a year with a bang.
absolutely. Happy New Year to all of our viewers, by the way. I hope you had a great time at home, and if you got together with your family, and some people were not able to due to the current global situation. But nonetheless, a happy new year to you. And here we are, joining these nearly 100 cars, going around the greatest bumper track in history.
Well, you might see a Honda doing good on originally what was a Honda testing circuit.
It would be oddly fitting to see a Honda leading in Suzuka. Absolutely.
But there are some Japanese cars that would like to make it a little bit more
And
challenging.
and just look at the starting grid. It is massive.
Yeah, some people are probably just going to go onto the start-finish straight, while others will be in turn one.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that is huge.
That's what you said.
Oh, come on. Come on. We have come on, we have some standards here. We have some comedic standards here.
What do you mean? I'm a comedic master chef.
Right. Um
Back to the business.
Absolutely. We still got about 45 seconds to go before the cars are rolling. But yeah, tons of cars, very difficult to fit them. And what I think could happen is we can have a turn one accident, and the column of cars is so long we can have maybe 2 or 3 different turn one accidents, because instead of one big one, we're just going to have a line of cars. This is going to look like the autobahn in the first few laps.
Shame the drivers can't just scream out at each other in the game. Get out, McLaren out of the way.
God, imagine if there were horns in this.
Oof.
a
Here
hundred,
we
a
are,
hundred cars blowing their horn. Oh my goodness.
and we are rolling.
Oh
The
yes,
most
we
anticipated race of 2021.
yes we are, and look at all these cars slowly creeping over the edge. And there's more, and there's more, and there's more where that came from. And oh my goodness, that is just a ton of them. Ooh, have we had something happen here?
As the session just starts.
Oh, something's just happened here. Seems to have been a reset, perhaps something technical. But look at this shot. This is what I was waiting for. Look at all of these cars lined up on... Wow. We can't even render all of the cars.
Can I
It
get
just...
my NASA PC, please?
Oh my goodness. And here we're in James Foley's BMW right now. You can see the huge line of cars. They're not all painted black, but there is a huge line of cars going through that straight. Oh my goodness, that would be a photo to remember. Get your cameras out. So yeah, good luck, have fun from Martin Pater, who I believe is also racing. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Was talking to us just earlier, and Varley going up as well. Good luck to everyone in the stream who will be racing, and we're very excited to see what these drivers will deliver to us. And viewers, recommend that you join us in pitwall.live to keep grip on all of these cars going around the track. There's only so much that the stream can deliver to you, and if you want to get yourself informed, pitwall.live always available. We've got Moise, I believe, in the YouTube chat saying hi and hello, welcome to the Suzuka Big Grid. And we're just about to get the session ongoing once again after a quick restart, and we're treated in the meantime to this amazing shot of all the cars lined up.
Well, just a small issue of not everyone being on a grid, but nothing a short restart would not fix. Just the first rule of technology: turn it on and off again.
Yes. So, Racer, I know you don't have lots of positive expectations for this turn one, but tell us, how do you think the start is going to go?
I think we are going to actually be pleasantly surprised. You say I don't have positive expectations, but I do. I don't think people can keep it quite clean if they want to. It's not your everyday Gran Turismo 15-minute race.
Right. Everyone's going to want to go play the long game and not losing it in turn one, of course. It's important to just keep your position in the start, and then you could start overtaking later. But, you know, always a mistake, always something happens. But you can be positive, as Racer is. Maybe we are very pleasantly surprised, and we see clean start. And wow, look at this. Look at all of these cars running through. We are underway in the formation, and down they go. Wow, they're gonna occupy the entire straight like this. Look at that.
It's just beautiful. Something you are not going to probably see so soon in real life. But we can hope for something like this.
Oh yeah, and we're currently on board with the 58 Mercedes, and we're just running down the main straight. And ooh, stay tuned for this. The moment the leader crosses the line, we're going to be treated to the greatest grid start. And here we are. We're currently underway, following these top 10 cars, and oh my goodness, even got some lag. And in we go into turn one, and it seems that through the top 10, doing just fine. Currently following Kruger, and look at this, completely clean start, incredible.
I told ya.
And there it is. It looks like, oh, we've got some accidents further back, but so far about 50 cars have made it through cleanly. We have had some turn 2 incident around here. Some cars lost it, but overall, wow, pleasantly surprised to see almost all of these cars going through just fine. And here we go. Of course, Ween's keeping that lead. We've got 0.7 gap from Nippon, and you can see all of the cars running through here. Very, very tight racing. You can still see some dives maybe and some attempts to overtake, but most of them are going to want to play the long game, keep that position. You've got the Aston Martin there going for a little peek, but doesn't really work out. And oh, you can see some side-by-sides already happening from the racing dudes. Aston Martin, and he makes it through. And on we go.
Would you want to risk?
Oh, we've got some 3 wides going through here.
Lamborghini spinning around in the hairpin, and that's going to create lots of problems for everyone. These are the moments that you are being defined as a driver. What do you choose? Where do you go? You just need to react to the decisions in not even a second. We see Claudio Alleria.
And so we've got
This is a big
Oh
one.
my goodness, that is a crash. And they've got
That's
another
awesome.
off track here, another Aston Martin going off, and another Porsche off the track. Oh my goodness!
Ooh, that was a
We all,
wild one for the
wow,
McLaren.
we only got a glimpse of that, but it looks like someone's just had a dinner McLaren. Up goes the Porsche into the wall. That's going to be race ending for sure. You've got tons of damage following Eddie Warden's Bentley, and oh my goodness, look at all this chaos! This Porsche is spinning around, and everyone seems to
Run,
have damage. Damage
we
is
were
all
so
over the place.
we were so scared of turn 1. We forgot about the rest.
The rest of the track, and there it is. Oh my goodness, what a race already. We've just the first 30 minutes, we've already got so much action. And well, let's get back on track, literally, for some cars. Tons of damage being distributed. Got some NSXs with their hoods flying off. But so far, it looks like the cars that managed to take advantage of their good start are just moving through. And we've got a comment on YouTube from ST70M2 Man that says, what was the top quality time? Well, the top quality time was set by Edward Wiens, and I believe it was a 2:00.4.
It was 0.2, I think.
Ah, he lowered it down to a 0.2. Absolutely correct. 2:00.270.
Oh, and that's a dive and a half.
That's a dive. And it's not really going to work out on the McLaren. That's just, you can't do that so early into the race.
You can't do that at all. You just have to see that there's a car in front of you. And this is the problem with these races. You are stuck behind someone. You are faster. You know you are faster, but you just can't get by. But these are the moments when you have to take your time, because these moves, they don't pay off. I can count so many times I saw or actually did this move. But when you do it on AI, it doesn't hurt that much. But it's much worse when you actually hit off someone who is real. But the important part is it happened. You just have to compose, get back on the track, literally, and also get your mind back and go.
There's another crash here just in front of Yannington. I was just trying to get through. We got some light tapping happening around, and in this race and in every race we've seen. The important thing is there's two types of drivers. There's the normal drivers and there's the amnesiacs who just go into the corner and they say, crap, where's my brake pedal gone? And is it here? Is it there? Oh man, I crashed into the guy in front. God dang it. And, well, we've got both of those personalities going round track right now.
Well, thank God there is no live race director, if there is, because they will have hands full of incidents going on all the time. But this is also a big learning curve for some. When are you going to learn better than with 100 other drivers around you?
Well, look, we've got Will Day going through right now in P34 with a familiar face in the commentator booth.
Oh, William. P34 in the better half of the grid, so the success.
Lots
Is he going to go for a move? No, he doesn't, but Carrington in front of him, he can smell the pressure, he can feel the pressure.
There was absolutely a spin right there in behind Will Day just now. Didn't really get a good glimpse of it, but yeah, some people having real issues running through this track handling the cars, and it's probably down to all of the damages. Speaking of damages, we've got Gianni Lenz, another familiar face from GT Hub and HSP, driving for Pixel Racing, and you can see that hood is just about to pop off. Same for the Lexus right behind, belonging to Binnersley in the 37 Lexus.
Yeah, that's not aerodynamically correct, and I'm not even an engineer. As you can see, Lenz defending or maybe attacking. But I think you'll have to do both at the same time. Not the best place to be in. But
with this amount of cars, you're going to be defending from 4 guys and attacking 2 guys in front at the same time.
Oh, Felix, don't do that.
Felix and P30 driving for GT Hub.eu, another familiar face. And that's a side-by-side going after the straight. And could he get away with this one? And yes, he will. In he goes into P29, right behind the racing dudes, Aston Martin.
Nice job capitalizing on a mistake from the car in front, trying to overtake someone. And this will be something happening all along. You want to get by a guy in front of you, you don't make the correct move, you're gonna get overtaken.
Yep.
And with this many cars, you're going to be on your wrong foot, corner and corner and corner, and you just
And he
keep
goes
losing
4
position.
wide.
They want to go 3 wide.
4 wide into the straight. Wow. And it seems the BMW of Mark Elgard has been the most has taken the most advantage from that 4 wide, taking those 2 positions right now, currently in 63rd. Oh, and he's off the track. What happened there? And it seems that all of that advantage he just had has been taken away as he goes 67th. Off he goes, off the track.
Just looks like a normal oversteer moment. Too eager, too much throttle, and the thing just goes. If you don't have too much
there it is.
Traction control is down. It's your
Got
right
it.
foot.
Yep, that's right there. You know it, especially in that BMW. But slowly taking back those positions after some other mistakes from other drivers. He goes, wow, that's aggressive, but that just gets the job done. Goes into 65th, and maybe can get further up. Still 90 minutes to go. God, a car facing the wrong way right there. Lots of time to go. So still a lot to see, and lots of comeback drives to be seen.
He sizes up another Lexus, just taking him for a breakfast in that Beamer.
And
it's a scary car to have behind you. It's wide. The headlights are just like a sunlight.
yeah. First,
it just looks like he wants to eat you, and with the new front end, it's going to eat you literally.
Num num. It's gonna go up and eat you, your race, and your hopes and your dreams, and maybe pop open your bonnet if you crash hard enough.
Maybe he's preparing some British breakfast of the Aston Martin in front. We shall see what he is on the table.
Currently on the table right now, we've got tons of damage and being distributed all over the grid. Just a quick report on the top end of the grid right now. Wiens maintains his P1. Napone maintains P2. Tavarian keeps his P3. Literally, our top 5 is almost the same, except for
yeah, Rich Smith, he made a slight mistake and dropped through lots of positions, now down to P6.
We've got Shula as well, doing some business. Back to Gianni Langston 63. It's interesting to see the midfield battle. The top guys, always good to see this. Whoa! Off he goes, and that could be race ending right there from Damien Wolf Racing. And watch that rejoin.
That's a lot of damage.
Not only is it a lot of damage, rejoining there's going to be really dangerous, and he goes in the middle of the track. And that Ferrari narrowly avoiding him. Director doing an incredible job at not letting us see how that goes through. But anyway, Rich Smith in that beautiful livery. Just...
Are you alright, Rod?
Yeah, it's just... I'm still taking in this absolutely huge grid. I'm seeing all the little stutters going through. But anyway, we've got this Mercedes in that...
That's Rich Smith
going
back to his position.
Rich Smith going back to P7 in that livery we're familiar with. And then he goes, still got an NSX up there. Ooh, wow, that is tight. It's always nice to see all of this tight racing here from the top 10. And well, that is I think, the best that we're going to see from the race so far. Though, of course, the midfield battles and getting back up there is going to be also really entertaining. We had Verstappen all the way down, definitely had some sort of accident going down to the 60s positions, but still, most of the top of the pack has managed to get through just fine.
But what is the big pack in this? Out of 80 cars, how do you define a mid pack?
How do you define a bit back? True. Currently just got 87 cars, or 91 cars, excuse me, are currently on the track right now. So we've lost a few already that have retired. Ooh, some very creative line taking happening there from that Rich Smith. In goes Rogers,
Mistake.
makes a mistake and steals that P7 position like nothing. And, well, just look at, like I said, look at Wiens. 5 seconds of gap already, and in these early laps before the traffic, the more seconds he's got, better it's going to be for him to take the higher positions. Back to racing dudes, and Frank Van Roon, 23rd, which is actually pretty good. And we can see we've got both of the team drivers lined up here. It's nice to see these custom liveries and, of course, team liveries going through. And the third car of racing dudes going through in 64th.
Yeah, it's always nice to see what people can come up with. Some are, you have to say, the creativity and time some people put into it. It's really great effort. With so many cars, just so many different ideas, so many different colors. Did you forget the alphabet?
Issues with the microphone, just crashed into 130R. My bad.
Oh, and speaking
Ooh,
of crashes, the Aston Martin just decides to
speaking
go.
of crashes, Sam Snelltrain losing that recovery drive, and yes, my apologies to the viewers. Just had a microphone issue, but funny nonetheless. Probably not having a smile. Sam Snelltrain after getting hit by that. Oh, that's not nice.
That was quite hard. The Aston Martin just went and played bowling with cousin Roman.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of
That
paperwork.
is really close for Javier Eugeni in the BMW. The Lexus almost touching on the side panels, but nice from Javier. There is another wild Beamer.
Another
Not in
Bimmer
its natural habitat.
going round and round, forgetting where the cars are supposed to go. We're seeing a lot of that in this starting stages of the race, where some people just don't remember which. Whoa! And there's the rejoin. What is that rejoin from you, Jenny? That just ruined another car's front bumper as well into 130R, I believe. Off is 3 cars, and there goes another rejoin. But it seems this one's a little bit safer.
Yes, another car.
Oh, another car goes off the track. 2 cars going off. Oh man, people are having real issues getting those cars around Suzuka tonight. Lots of damage and another off track there. And some people are already pitting, as is Xavier Eugenie. Pit window has just opened and they've got 1 hour to get the pit stop done. And here is where the strategy is going to be key. You've got 1 hour and you can put as many stints on those tires as you want. But you can't go the entire race without refueling, and that's where it's going to be important. When are you going to swap out those tires? When are you going to get into that point where you have no choice but to refuel? And I think here is where we will see some benefit from the Nissans and the Bentleys and other cars that are good on fuel. But I don't think that advantage alone is going to be enough for recovering all the way up to the top. What do you think, Racer? What cars are going to benefit from this?
Just the car that will have the least traffic and the least time in the pit. Because
right.
if you look at it, any strategy is just out of the window as soon as the traffic comes. You might pit in early to get away from some cars, but with this big grid, you're just going to come out with another car in front of you. So at this point, just maybe going in earlier might be better, depending on when the car in front of you comes in. But at this point, your best bet is doing even stints probably.
Right. Let's go way far down There's so many cars on this grid, it's almost hard to keep track of all of the action. Let's go down a little bit further, and we've got some cars already going out of the pits. We've got, for example, Mason going into the pits, Blackadder going to the pits. I believe Felix Fritsch, 72nd at the moment, has also entered the pits. Most of them are likely to repair those damages that they took in early. There's some cars receiving stop-and-go penalties for speeding in the pit lane. That's strange to see.
Well, it is very easy to go for that tiny gain. You gain maybe a 10th too, but you risk so much.
Right. Sometimes it's better to just make sure the car is in top shape, because even if not pitting can save you time, maybe the car will just go off unexpectedly because of the damage, and off you go.
Yeah. At some point, might be thinking, is the damage even worth fixing? Are you losing so much time due to the damage?
I've got a comment on YouTube that says, from Vizzarelli says, I have never seen so many cars in one race, and neither have we. This is the absolute largest amount of cars I've ever seen going on the track at once.
We are on to point to world record at this point, aren't we? Can someone Guinness?
Yeah, it might actually be. We'll have to look into that. Currently following Simon Trebek. We've seen him before in the Spot Big Grid. He's familiar with how it works, and well, currently in 32nd in that Bentley. But I think he's in a nice position. If he can keep the car together, seems like some pieces are already falling off from some accident. But again, real fuel economy. He can totally pit way later than everyone else, and if he puts in some fast laps, maybe get that traffic off of him, he'll just get through just fine. And another lap going through. 1 hour and 11 minutes left to go. Still got tons of time to pit, so we will see how he does this. Wow!
It's not about you having in control. At some point, you're more scared about the other drivers.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that. And wow! Wow, that is early, especially for a Bentley, perhaps repairing damages. We will see, but he has decided to enter the pits just at close to the beginning of the pit window. Let's get back into the action. We've already got a bunch of traffic going through. Another spin down in the chicane before the straight. Oh man, people just don't like that corner at all. And now,
I don't envy those drivers, because if you are being lapped, you are in such a precarious position. You need to make sure everyone gets by, and you're just looking out for everyone. Is he there? Is he there? Is he already by? You know, it's hard for the people who are going to lap you. Ooh, guys, keep it clean. But it's hard also for the one being lapped.
We've got Vizzarelli that says, I stopped watching the New Year's festive TV program and shifted into watching this race. Seems much more amusing. And sure, yeah, we've got some missiles going through and a bunch of spins, but also some real nice driving action. And I wanted to say, that shot we got a few minutes ago of all of those cars on the main straight, very similar to what we had in the first corner, the first lap. All the cars together, but now some of them are lapped, some of them are fighting for position. How are the drivers going to manage all this?
Oh, multitasking all the time. There is no other way. And currently looking on Menacing School in the flashback racing Aston Martin. Beautiful finish of the orange and black. Currently P25. Oh, he might be on for a good result if he keeps it together in this half of the grid.
Menacing Skull, another name that we have heard in RWB before in the Spa race Big Grid. Another pretty good finisher, I believe, so keeping our eye out for Menacing Skull here.
Meanwhile, in the lead, Edward Wiens pitted from P1, currently driving in P7. Let's see how his strategy goes. If he was trying to maybe get away from some traffic. And what the other guys do if they keep fighting, or if they just drive with each other. Because that might be also another valuable strategy. What do you say? Do you fight for the position tooth and nail, or do you try to go tactically?
What I'm interested in seeing is it really worth it to pit this early? All of the cars in front of him have still got to pit, obviously, but is he really going to be able to recover all of that ground all so early with all of the traffic still so tightly packed? We will see. We've seen Wiens doing some inhuman speeds before in the quali session, so that is something. And that is a big accident going into the chicane. One of the AMGs going off, I believe that is Smith, that just flew off, hit by another car, and that is going to be some serious damage for sure. And we've got way further down, still got some issues controlling the cars. Got Cineris having issues in the chicane, and here it is. You see all of the traffic going through. Some guys have to lap, some guys have to go slow, others got to go fast. Why, all this time, very difficult. So, let's let these I'm gonna let these cars roll for a bit, see if we've got any major changes. Right now, all the pits shuffling is gonna go through, and we're gonna see in a bit our grid for the next few minutes. Wow, was that I believe that was a lapped car. If that was an overtake,
No,
that was.
Was it?
Was that Snelch?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I thought it was a lapped car because that would have been a really ballsy move into the first corner.
Carlo Denis letting the fast guys come by.
And
not the easiest thing, letting someone die safely.
Not on this track, and not with this many people.
We have to give each other that little bit of space.
As always, all the time, you have to leave that space. Otherwise, there will be an accident.
And word from the man, the legend himself. We have a small fighting between the Ferrari, the Mercedes, and the Lexus.
Well, definitely not small fighting. These guys are really out for it after the first pit cycle. They really want to get rid of the traffic, and if the person in front is slower, they have to get rid of them. Otherwise, the run is not going to be as good. And that's what Yarrington's thinking, trying to get ahead of Dahlgren right now to continue his run. Will he have the pace to make it through? We'll find out in the next stages of the race. Let's move on a little bit lower.
Just Snyder in another Racing Goods motorsport. How many cars do these people have? This is like 5th car from the team. They are taking this race like an assault.
Invading the race. I believe I've seen so far 3 different cars. There may be 4 or more. But yeah, they're all here just doing the team effort, and yeah, you like to see it. All the cars going around, especially when they were together in the same grid position. That was good to see all of them just going through. Really interesting to watch.
Felix Fritsch in the really bright green Mercedes. You're not gonna miss this car anytime soon.
You're definitely
stand wide, probably under pressure from the Aston Martin behind him. And this is a great position to be. Many people don't like it, but you really have to be on your top when you are chased by someone.
So there's Wiens, right? And we just saw there that shot. He's got all the people behind him, but then he's got all of the space in front. And Wiens is the fastest guy with absolutely no doubt the fastest guy. All of that gap right there, he's going to be able to take advantage of that, and he might even have a chance of taking it all the way back. Anyway, let's go back down. Ooh, some fighting and a crash, and it's just been camera's just been swapped out. That's a shame. But it seems we still get some action even if the camera's been swapped out. Trebek
there's the spin for Simon Trebek.
Big Matthias Binotto, another one going through. and, well, Suzuka Tokyo drifting into turn 1. There goes another guy behind Trebek. It seems there has not been a contact between the
And
two.
another one into the
Con
wall.
contact between the 2 times. Trebek has crashed. And, ooh, that's back to the garage. That could be a retirement right there. And we saw the back of the bumper was so busted. He probably had suspension damage. He might have just straight
Yeah.
up have had to tow the car and retire from that high amount of damage. And that's a shame. Simon Trebek, I saw good things in the Spa Big Grid, but I guess he just hasn't had the same luck this time around. Speaking of veterans from the Spa Big Grid race, the return of Aaron Araday, which we saw in the Spa Big Grid not too long ago, also doing really, really well for himself. And right now, P19, with such a big grid, good place to be. Though I wouldn't see him in the Aston Martin going extremely quick, but it's what the Aston is. A good platform to set up, so probably comfortable in the car and just getting it around without sending it into some other poor Zod's car that just was in the way.
Yeah, the Aston Martin, as you said, it's a really good car. As the BMW shows, the Aston Martin is probably one of the best cars you can pick to learn the game. And some people say it's so rewarding to drive.
Yes. I drive personally the Aston and the Porsche, but mostly the Aston. And it's the thing the Aston has. It's so adaptable and it's so easy to drive. It loves running through curbs and it goes really well in the wet, which for novice players and for players that are not as experienced driving through in the wet, the Aston is really, really rewarding to drive, and it really puts you in a good spot if you've got torrential rain going down, or if generally you just want a car you can trust will not send you off in the first stages of you starting to play in Competizione specifically. And really quickly, going back to topic, to Varane, I'll never get this.
Ryan,
I will never get this, ladies and gentlemen. But what he will get is to lead the race for the foreseeable future until the previous pole sitter or somebody else gets their hand on a overtaking move on that. Anthony Terhorst in the 89 Mercedes, another familiar face, driven here plenty of times. At least in Spa he did, and P16. We've got all of these people that have driven these big grid races before already doing really well, and it is to be expected. So, oh my, that's a lot of damage in the rear of that Lexus.
not even flex tape is gonna fix that problem.
So, Racer, right now, who do you see getting a good chance of going in a good position in the next few minutes of the race?
I would be looking at the people who are, let's see, in 20 seconds gap to the leader. So if you are within those 20 seconds, you are
In
on
the
a good
pit?
pace. You are in good position for the result, but it is so hard to say at this point, you know. Drivers that are off strategy, that are maybe planning something really fast. You just have to be in the right position, in the right time. And the drive is just going to come to you. If you're looking at Tverijn, as you can see a car in front of him, a little bit more traffic. Do you pit now? Do you try to overtake them? Because the traffic is going to lose you some time to the car you are fighting. So it might be a viable thing to just go in, get the tires switched, get the fuel in, and just hope that you put in a good enough lap times to come out ahead, or at least closer to the car you're fighting.
Yep. Real.
Felix Fritsch in the GT Hub EU Mercedes. He has been passed by the Aston Martin of Al in front of him.
I believe that is a Jaguar ahead, just a lap car. just a lapped car in front, and he's got lots of traffic running through. But yeah, P70 for Felix. We saw him way further up, but he was the victim of a huge accident, like this one here in turn 1. Nope, seems to have gone just fine from
Yeah,
that
that seems to be Martin Schaefer.
from that brutally pink Ferrari.
That one's
And,
also that big.
and it may be Martin Schaefer going off
Oh,
there.
as we have a spinner, a BMW just spinning on a circuit, probably, maybe even being spun around.
Seems to be a common occurrence for the moment. BMW's looking the wrong direction of the track. Right.
The wrong brand to be spinning around.
Speaking of Ferraris, currently none of them are within the top 10 spot. We do have one in P19 going through right now. That is Dahlgren in a 297 Ferrari.
Well, Ferrari, it's a weird car for these races. It feels good to drive at circuits, but sometimes the performance just does not come into me while driving a Ferrari. But that sounds like a me problem. As we are looking at the fight of Sam Snelltrain in the McLaren, we saw him being hit off. And he might be looking at redemption, currently 22nd place with the Aston Martin of Denise in front of him. But he is looking more behind him than in front with the Ferrari of Martin Schaefer.
Ooh, going right on through.
Is he going to do Alonso? Is he going to go around the outside? You bet
Yes,
he is.
yes, but he's going to be able to make it through. No, he's not. Oh, yes, he is. He's going to make it all through. And he's got the inside.
He had to go to Russia and back, but he did the move.
Oh, yeah, he's got the move done, though the line a bit questionable. And that line now is going to be a problem when Sam Snelltrain gets his way back around and is back into 22nd. Will we see a dive going into turn 1? They're pretty close side by side. Oh,
and there's the collision.
my goodness.
Oh, that was unnecessary, gentlemen.
Not quite.
Avoided.
That could have... Oh, man, that's... You hate to see that. And that is, I believe, Ferrari of Schaefer going off. Oh, man, that sucks. And, well, complete calculation failure there. It just, you know... It just happens. You get a little bit too happy with throttle, or your direction's just not right, and well, that happens. We'll see what the Ferrari does to recover. Yeah.
It looked to me like the McLaren just tried to turn in a bit earlier, but also Schaefer could have maybe backed off. It's a weird position to be on the inside of first corner in Suzuka. It's always dangerous place because it's a one-line corner and the wall is pretty close. But you make the calculations, you take the risk. But man, you have to be good at math.
Gotta say, I invite the viewers, right now I've got plenty of viewers going on, welcome to the Suzuka Big Grid. I invite you to say a message, say hello, interact with us, let us know what you think, or if you support any specific driver, or who you think could possibly clinch this so far. Very difficult to tell, but we've had some really good predictions before, so let us know. Right now following Robert De Vries in P70. And these P70 cars, not great, especially not when you're setting up the second part of the strategy, which will be the final 45 minutes of the race. That's when it's important to have a good strategy. And if you're in P70, not much you can do. Oh,
that
geez,
is a little bit of door banging, guys. That's not necessary in Dunlop. You don't want to lose the car there because it's not far from.
Well, it's got that V12 going through, and he was just having a punch with. Oh, there goes Aaron Van Druner, from the racing team that says, "Huh?" And it sounds like that's what he's thinking right now after he's somehow gotten into the wall. And back into the pits he goes, and that could be a retirement right there. Wow, tragic, especially in the top 20 position. Oh man, you hate to see it.
As we are looking at maybe more problem for Edward Wiens, because light timing currently says he's in P18, our former leader. Are we looking at some troubles? Maybe collisions with the lap
Ooh.
traffic for him as well?
Edward Wiens in P18. That completely throws off my expectations of him. Seems to maybe gotten into traffic or had some issues. Now P1, it's
We
going to
have
be down to a coin.
Christopher Tverein in the pits from P1.
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
Or maybe not.
Oh no no.
Mistake.
No, that was a different car going into the pits. Tverein still defending P3. He was leading the race not too long ago, but it seems some mistakes or maybe just pure pace. Ooh, speaking of pure pace, Romeo Mayer getting through that, no problem. P55, plenty of time to Verstappen, 20 seconds, so not much he can do from here, but face the traffic and hopefully get some positions in once the second pit cycle goes through. From YouTube, got a comment says Simon Zimmerman says go Anthony. Believe that is Terra Horst he's talking about, and yeah, good expectations from Terra Horst for sure.
As someone just decided to kiss the entry wall through the pit lane.
Oh, what is that? That's one of the racing dude's cars going off right at the straight.
Yeah, Aston Martin just. No, you gotta inspect the walls. You have to make sure they are working fine.
Well, the only way to find out if they work is by crashing into them, and it seems that's what most of these drivers are going for here. Strange to see one of the racing dude cars going off like that, especially in that location. It looked like they were going into the pit entry, perhaps. Didn't get a good camera angle from that, but again, the crash is there. And right now we're with Claudio Alegria for Alegria Motorsports, 21st. Not bad, and he's close to Camaletto in the 17 Mercedes, so he can get an overtake going.
Oh, might be also defense for the position with the car behind, even though it's a lapped car. They can make your life painful if it's actually a faster car. I've experienced it. As we are back to the top, Alex Rogers in Adrenaline Racing Mercedes, with the Lexus of Siogon close behind. Are we looking for a fight for provisional P4? Maybe
Yeah, absolutely.
At the end of the race.
That Lexus and the Mercedes, they're going to fight for power. Mercedes has the best overall power, but Lexus and Suzuka just has a mystical power of just being faster than you because yes. So we're going to see a fight, definitely. One of those guys is going to want to get ahead and get through the traffic before the other guy does, especially if they are not pitted yet or if they're going to do a second pit cycle. So we're going to see a fight from that for sure in the next few laps. Ooh, we've got 3 cars involved in a multi-car collision just here in front of Dylan Miller in the P62 for Apex Valkyrie Racing. And oof.
This is the best session.
Some similarities to a public Monza server here at the lower end of the.
Don't remind me of public Monza servers, please.
Got a comment on YouTube from RWB Cost that says, great comms, guys. Racing's a bit sketchy. It says, thanks, and yeah, we've got some interesting lines being taken. I've already see the chicane cones are already being taken off by unfortunate souls that just couldn't get the braking right, or they were pushed into a crash. We've seen plenty of that already. Chris Gooch. Wow, another one of the guys from the Spa race, doing well as well in 25th. We'll say maybe the top 30 is respectable. Ooh, Tverein.
We have Christopher Tverein
into the pit.
From 3rd place. Let's take a look at him and see where he is going to come out.
Let's keep an eye on that. Still got plenty of time in that pit. And currently dropping some positions already. Tverein got P7 right now, overtaken by Serafini Danesi in the Aston Martin. Very solid from Danesi at the moment, just going up there Aston, very reliable car. It's just, well, point this thing a little bit over here, and maybe a little bit over here, and then we brake every once in a while. Aston's a very relaxed car to drive in. What can I say? It's almost like they're road cars. You can really get to push it, but if you don't want to, it'll get you through the bumps just fine.
But talking about good cars, what car are you looking at? And when you are being told you have to drive it, you just can't because the car doesn't suit you. What's
I think the worst car I adapt to is either the NSX or I think it's a mix between the NSX and the BMW. The NSX is a little bit too loose in the rear, and setup isn't really going to fix that for you, because even if you change some stuff back there, it's going to cause problems top speed-wise and problems with the front end that are just not worth it. Though some people still manage to get that sweet spot with the NSX, and the BMW just not really my thing. The way I like to drive, BMW just understeer city for me. Doesn't really work. But again, it is a matter of personal preference and a matter of strategy of which car does best where and how can I take advantage of the setups that I can do on it. But yeah, personally for me,
Meanwhile,
can't drive.
Christopher Tverain came out behind Edward Wiens. It's gap about somewhere over a second, but about 5 cars between them. So
Tverain
rough work for
17.
him.
17 and Wiens is in front. Maybe Wiens never really had an issue, just went into the pits again, or some other situation happened that we were not aware of. Regardless, new pits, Shula and Plate going P6 and P7, just entering the pits. Ted Horst joins them just now, and they're all going to be dropping down. We'll see how they recover that. And look at this, Wouter Vliet, P6 from GT Hub going through into P6.
How did he get there?
How did he get there? He teleported right into P6, and well, we weren't really talking a lot about him, but there he is. And with 45 minutes left, if he can get a good setup for the next pit cycle, he's for sure going to stay in there. And I gotta say, these GT Hub guys, I can't tell who's going to win, but personally, knowing the GT Hub guys, of course, there's going to be some sort of more trust in these. Not biased, just a slight amount of preferential treatment in regards to safety on the track. I've seen a lot of GT Hub guys driving very, very safely. Well, with some exceptions, but overall,
we can talk that.
it's just let me. Oh man. See,
You're getting a bit dumb.
yeah, you can't commentator bias for this reason, because you've got one guy who's doing really well, you got another guy who's crashing. It's difficult. But anyway,
we can say about Wouter. We know him. He can just come out of nowhere in this race.
True.
Many times I saw him at like P20, and halfway through the race he's in P6.
Yeah, very good mid-race performance from Wouter Vliet, and I've definitely seen lots of I've seen him more in the Lamborghini, but it seems he adapts to other cars pretty well. The Lexus especially. I've heard the Lexus is very easy to drive, similar to the Aston, but only really works in specific tracks with specific setups, which I guess is a little bit more advanced than the Aston is. But yeah, there's Wouter Vliet going through. Another Lexus that we have to keep our eye on is Hartmann, who just enters P3. For the viewers, currently P1 Varley, P2 Danesi, P3 Hartmann. Varley doing those, as he names it, rubbish laps, but he's in P1 right now, leading the race with 43 minutes to go. What will we see from him?
Also, we have our new provisional leader, Radek Shula. He's been in a pit lane, and he is currently ahead of Edward Wiens. So maybe a strategical call from the Honda might help him to get higher.
And a comment from YouTube that's from Fernando Valeste that says, "What an incredible grid! Watching directly from Brazil. Welcome to the stream." And yeah, what a grid. Massive, and lots of action going down. Despite most of the action being unfortunate accidents, we've already got some moves going down. Drivers are showing off what cards they've got in the deck, ready to throw out when the chance comes out.
Also, correction from my side, the live timing has betrayed me. The end is leading, Shula is behind him, but it's really close.
Yep, that's right.
And you can't rely on the technology.
Well, you can't rely on the technology, but it's not possible to keep track of 100 cars at the same time. But Pitwall helps. Let's take a look. Right now, fastest laps are between the 202s and...
Oh, as we see Lance Tokyo drifting through the turn 1. Here
Yeah.
comes the wrong game, mate.
That in Need for Speed or Forza, absolutely beautiful. But here, I don't think it's going to be that quick.
But style points. As a
Oh yeah, style points, absolutely. If we're basing the ooh, off he goes.
Those are not style points. That's gonna be.
I think there was just a space-time continuum error inside of the car, which meant that his drivetrain was put on backwards, so he was turning left, but then his drivetrain teleported into his car backwards, and he just sent the car the completely wrong direction, and there is the crash. Unfortunate, but you never know how the laws of physics can be defied here in Competizione.
Oh, just do not forget to shift into the rocket mode in your car.
Yes, enable party mode while you still can before it is removed. Okay, let's
onto this giant snake that is this bunch.
look at that going down the straight.
How do you even start thinking about getting by? You just see 10 cars in front of you. Like, where do you start even passing?
You start crying a little bit, and then you talk to your racing engineer while crying and say, "I can't get through all these people, man. Like, what am I supposed to do? Look at these guys." And then you and your race engineer have an argument, and then 10 minutes later, you just say, "Right, I'm just gonna wait for them to make a mistake, and the people that are slower than me, I just overtake them." It's not really that.
You end up in a wall.
Eventually, you either end up king or you end up in a wall, but you'll never know if you don't try. I think I would like to personally commend the arms of our in-game stewards right now. Being able to wave the yellow flag constantly for 1 hour, really difficult. Speaking of really difficult to control that Lambo from the looks of it, that is just staying there on the track, and he's going to have to get out of the way if he doesn't want to cause more accidents. Flying in P4, look at this!
Look at him, madman.
Those Lexus, could we see a top 3 completely full of Lexus cars? I would not.
Anything's possible at this point. Although it's highly unlikely we are going to see top 3 of Ferraris. But you never know with this race.
Oh, we've got a comment from Trebek that explains to us the issues he was having. The early pit that he went into was due to damage on the first lap. He hit a car that was spun out, and he just couldn't keep up with anyone on the straights, and, well, that crash we caught live where his bumper was destroyed, car couldn't make it. What a shame, man. But saw great things from you in Spa. What a shame, what a shame. Yeah, you know, can get down to just, oh, you go into the chicane wrong, dang it, and off he goes. But hope to see more of Trebek in the next races that we comment on, because man, that was just unlucky. You know, you've got these good drivers, and you've got these drivers with good chances of getting by in the race, and it's just another guy spins, and you had nothing to do with it, but off it goes. And we've got, I believe, yes, Eddie Warden going through some traffic here and completing another lap. Not a lot of action going down at the bottom end of the race at the moment. Just some spins, but overall, no major change. Let's update pit wall right now. For the viewers that are not using pit wall at the moment, there are currently 87 cars from the expected 100. So we've had a few retirements, but so far still tons of cars left right now.
Looking at the pit wall, Radek Schüller now is shown as ahead of Edward Wiens, so there might have been some overtaking going on off camera.
We'll see if we can take a look at that, maybe?
Maybe we can see the Honda against Lexus, a Japanese civil war for the win in this race.
See if we can we maybe get our eyes on that? I'm interested in seeing if a Honda NSX could even possibly have the power advantage over a Lexus.
Maybe it's actually not the power advantage you're looking for. Just a tiny mistake from that Lexus and you're in a driver's seat. Literally, he's in the driver's seat, he's driving the car. Unless maybe there's someone like Daniel Abt in his apartment.
I was gonna make the same reference. Oh man, it's just wow, look at this. Martin Schaefer, P23 in the racing team HSP shit show. Yep, sounds about right. And that's our pink Ferrari going through all of this traffic, but also trying to overtake that Lexus ahead at the same time. Speaking of lots of traffic, here we are, back at the top. And yes, look at that, Schüller P2. That is an NSX in P2. The RWB races never fail to impress me. And where's Flyen gone?
Well, he's gone into the pits probably.
Right.
Makes rightful position.
Rightful.
Currently in P13 in a Lexus. But
Not bad. Not bad. Good going.
Still with car yet to pit, he might be looking for a good finish.
And on board currently with Turo Nepone from Ram Racing, and just 1 second off from Menacing Skull ahead. But he's got some serious pressure going on from behind. He's probably thinking about defending. No way he can get to Skull right now. And Camaletto behind. Oh man, one dive, and that could be the end of that position. Doesn't seem to need a dive at all. Going side by side, and ooh, outbreak from the outside. Off he goes. What a move from Camaletto. Off he goes, going P18.
Just a small updates on the cars that were in the lead fight. Samuel Kruger in the number 6 Honda. After some mistakes and probably also crashed from other drivers, currently in P34. Then also Turo Nepone in the 75 Mercedes as well in P18. This just shows that you are in a lead, but it's never over until it's over. Anything can happen and all of a sudden you are looking at just a result that you hope to secure.
Right, so, I'd like to ask our viewers if they are drivers in Competizione, what their favorite car is to drive. Everyone has their own personal preference, but I have a personal curiosity to know what cars people like the most, because I see a lot of Porsches being thrown out and lots of Mercedes, but you know, everyone has that car that they say, look, it might be slow, but it just sounds the coolest, or it looks the coolest. I know people who run the V12 Aston just because of the sound, and I don't blame them. So let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, it's a Ferrari, obviously, man.
Ferrari for you.
Yeah, it might be the shit box, but it's my shit box.
It's a Ferrari, you can't say that.
Exactly. You know, and this is also nice about some people, that they don't care if the car is slow, if it... Oh, that's not slow, that's quite harsh from the Mercedes.
And
maybe took some chapter from the touring cars.
I believe that was a fight between Terra Horst and Araday just now.
Yes, might have been.
Let's go a little bit further down. Andrea Migliorini, 42nd right now, but 10 seconds behind Mortimer. Could he possibly get a recovery drive going in the closing stages of this race? Well, we will see from him if he can put in enough pace to maybe even get top 40, top 30 even. Wow,
Well,
look at this line.
With Mortimer yet to pit, that's a free position.
Yeah, actually, if he's... Oh, not
That's not a
good.
free position.
Not good, not good.
Hughes.
Hugh just off the
Uh,
track, and that was with Tavares, I believe. So that was traffic, blue flag, definitely going through. But it seems got just a little bit too tight, and he just lost it. Wow, unfortunate. I wouldn't consider that to be Martin Pater says F for me. I didn't take in fuel, and oh, that must be Martin Pater, another one from the Spa race. Man,
we've
we've
been
got
there at some
no.
point.
Oh yeah, I've had issues with tires. I've had issues with fuel before. Tires at 5, fuel being put in wrong,
Yeah.
things like that. Just terrible, terrible. But hope to see more of Martin Pater in the future, man. You were doing good.
This is one of the things when you are alone in a car. There's nobody that can take care of you. Not saying that the engineer in ACC is useless, but he's not a Jeff level useless. But yeah, you are on your own here. You have to take care of your car. It is really easy to forget something in the heat of the moment. There's the advantage of racing with multiple people in endurance racing.
I'm a bit confused about this line happening right now. You've got Barton ahead and behind. Never mind. Okay. I guess Rick Binnersley just overtakes Barton due to a mistake. That's...
And we have our leader in the pits, Phil Barley, in a Lexus in the pit lane. So it is Radek Schule in the 96 Honda taking the lead. Well,
You're kidding.
I'm not.
No way.
No, it is a Honda in the lead.
A Honda in the lead again from Spa? Jeez.
VTEC kicked in, yo.
Yeah. There's something in that engine. We were talking earlier, who could someone is going to have to get a rocket ship to get even close to that pole sitter. But I guess that Honda, well, he's got the rocket ship, because something in that engine block is making some serious moves to put that in P1.
Maybe some engine swap. He just give the GP2 engine to the Lexus. But there is quite a lot of close fighting for the P6 and P7. Lots of cars also close behind the Viens with Safari Danesi and Tverain still close behind.
Yeah, let's talk about that Lambo that just went off track there in turn 1. But let's talk about Johan Kerjan, P15. It's the McLaren that we saw in the P20, the only McLaren that was anywhere close to the top steps. And so far, he's still in the same position as he started in, which in a race this chaotic and this unpredictable is a good position to be.
Currently, Ignacy Bucek for Ram Racing leading a small terrain of cars. Jump to Jody Barrowclough for Castrol Racing Black Lexus. All alone. Something you might actually prefer in this race, just seeing nobody in front, nobody behind. Little bit of air to breathe, maybe running away from someone or just being slowly chased bit by bit. As we see a switch for the position, as Radek Schule, as shown on live timing, is dropping down, and Eduardo Viens has taken the first position back.
Really makes you think, what's the strategy going on here?
Looks like a small mistake from Schule, but it's going to cost him. He has about 30 minutes to go and lots of time to gain back, but these people aren't bulletproof. I've tested it, I've shot guns at them. They are bulletproof.
Eddie Warden goes 59, taking one position away. Oof, I'm going to take a quick second to let these cars roll around, let you hear those amazing noises for 1 second, and we'll treat you with information on the race in just a moment. Before then, there's Camaletto. We saw him really far up, and now he's back to P17. How could that have happened? Oh. All right.
I hope you're enjoying the race as we are. If you are, don't forget you can join us at rwracing.club. Feel free to come join. We are doing many races for people of different skill sets. Just come and find new friends. Join our Discord. Follow us on YouTube at RWB International. Follow us on Twitter at RWB_racing. We are here for you, doing races. Join the competition.
We are back online, and yes, absolutely, one of these drivers could be you, or we've got plenty of other events in a bunch of different racing simulators, be it, say, Race Room or R Factor. Got some events going off there in the near future. And, well, wow, these cars going around, this amount of cars, real nice to listen to. But let's get back into the meat of this race. 24 minutes to go, and this is the closing stage of the race. Here is where a good position can really, really be important, because you might not even be able to get a single position back after a certain point. You're just going to be done.
So as we are looking, Phil Warley finally came into the pits, and Eduardo Viens back to the lead. So the status quo has been reached. We are back to where we started, currently leading by 1.7 seconds, with Terrain just about a second behind. So top 3 are close, and they might still be in for quite a spectacle in the end. More positions is Phil Varley currently in the pits, so occupying for position. Then Radek Schule after that mistake. Was it his error? Was it error of a backpacker? Tough to know now, but he is definitely going to be angry at letting such a good position slip. Finishing off it, Alex Rogers in P6, Ed Monoplate in P7, Emil Sjöblom in P8, Andre Brendel in P9 for our Slav boys. And in P10, Water Lion, as we said, he just comes back into the positions. He is looking at quite a good finish.
Yep, playing just no reason why, but instead of an engine in that front hood, it's just there's just a teleport machine in there. Just bam! Suddenly, I'm back in there, my man, and here we are once again. Oh my, excuse me. Let's get back a little bit further back, or um, oh, that is not a lot of gap on Tavarian. Let's take a look at this. Danesi into the first corner, and that is really tight. And when we're this close to the end of the race, we're going to see more aggressiveness. Everyone's position has been consolidated. The pit window will close very soon. We're definitely going to be seeing some more action happening, especially at the front where people are going to be fighting. But as stated earlier, Wiens is back in pole at the moment.
The gap went a little bit down. It just went down to 1 second, so maybe Wiens having some traffic that is not favorable.
Currently following Edward Wiens. Yep, look at that train. They're so tight together, and Wiens is going to have to get some serious defense moves going down if he doesn't want one or maybe even two cars taking advantage of that really close position.
As he goes for it around the outside, tries it around,
but it doesn't really work out. But the Aston, the Nessie just makes through. He wants to take advantage of that. And Taverne, if he tried to go for that, he had a Lexus in front and an Aston on the side. He had to let go. And now the important thing is he going to be able to get a run on Danesi to get back into 130R? Not exactly. They're not really going to make it through.
No. For the lead, you don't want to try something that is going to put you into position to lose the race.
Ooh, but that's the dive into the chicane, and could that be it? Not quite, but he's definitely fighting for it. Meanwhile, Wiens, with all of his fighting, getting away. Let's take a look at this straight picture here. Lots of traffic in front. Wiens is going to have issues sorting out that with that amount of fighting behind him. It's currently following Jack Mason, 55th.
Now, this is a question for Tverain. Do you keep fighting the Aston Martin? Do you try to get by him? Because you are going to lose time fighting. Or, guys, let's not park on the track. Or do you let him go and try to use him to catch back to the lead?
That's what I was going to suggest. He's pole sitter, excuse me. Race leader at the moment has traffic in front, and you're fighting with this P2. I would just let him fight with P1 and then try to get in, see if you can swoop in and get the double. It's risky, but if you fight with P2, Wiens is just going to run away. CDog17 says, hello everyone, welcome to the Big Grid Suzuka by RWB. Hope you enjoy your stay here. Got plenty of cars going around this track tonight. Just entering the closing stages of the race, the final 20 minutes just going down, and lots of action to see. Even though so much of the race is already gone, we're yet to see half of all of the moves our drivers have got ready for this race tonight.
Look at those moves. Drivers are going from side to side, trying to find that little bit of space, that tiny gap that is open for them. It is really hard to find your space when there is just a wall of cars in front of you. Because you're looking at some drivers that are mostly on their own. Some would actually prefer this than just having 5 cars in front of them. But on the other hand, it's harder to make up the time, the places you've lost, when you are in a no man's land. Nobody in front, nobody behind. maybe it's a good time to start some hot lapping. Currently, as we have changed for the lead, Alan Serafin Danesi got past Edward Wiens and is leading the race in an Aston Martin.
Right. Shula
Also,
P5, Veens P2, yep, and Tverain lost out. And
also
it seems...
Phil Varley just got that little bit closer to them.
Ooh,
Thanks to
another
the
Bimmer off
fighting
track.
they've been doing.
Another Bimmer off track. What a shame. Oof, we got some real close bumper action between Napoleon and Alegria right here. Look at that, fighting for the steps right before P20. P22nd and 21st, getting ready to take that line to 130R. What's going to happen here? Just a average run through. Looks like no one wants to go for the suicidal passes. Just real. Ooh, that's not exactly the line. Got some rallycross Nissans going around. Oh, looks that might be no, not exactly a retirement, but definitely a car gone off there. And here it is. That's the two strategies you can do now. It's you either go really aggressive and go for all the positions you can, going all in with all of your cards in one go, or you just try to keep that position you're in. It depends on the interest of the driver and whether they are comfortable with going that tight to Varane onto Wiens. Look at that. The bumpers were just right together. And it looks like Wiens might lose out in this side-by-side here. The Mercedes is just flying.
On the mark. It is not maybe the fastest car in a straight line, but it's got some ground. If you manage to just get that better line, force the car in front of you into compromised position, you are looking at a good overtake. So now interesting if he can catch up to the leader. Danesi with currently 2.2 seconds of a gap. He's got 60 minutes to try and find something, and there's lots of clean air for both of them. But still, the lap traffic might jeopardize your run. They are really... You can't rely on them, can you?
No way. Yarrington T20. Following Snell Train really close so far, but he's got Napoleon and Alegria behind also real close.
Looking to crack that top 20, get into the 19s. And it is the mental boost that you sometimes need, just get a different number at the start of your position. Claudio Averia in another Lexus, currently P23, just fighting off Nepone in Mercedes. If you look at Martin Schaefer, we saw him before in that big collision with the McLaren into this very turn, currently P25, fighting off with the Aston Martin behind him. And we're back for the leader, Edward Wiens. Does he run out of steam? Did he get some damage that we did not see, or is it just that other drivers started to go faster? You can see Phil Varley behind him. He can see the podium, he can smell the podium. Maybe he will be able to taste the champagne at the end.
It's a bit of a problem for Wiens. We see him, he's got some losing pace there on the straights. But we saw so much pace from him at the start, seems to have lost out. Maybe something related to the situation of his tires.
Might be. You can always choose to not change your tires, but is it worth it? You put so much stress onto them at the start, fighting for positions. There are limited sets of tires in this race. We have to say that there are 3 sets for the entire race and qualifying. Although after the small restart the sets might have been reset, but still It's if you use up all your tires in qualifying, you're looking at back position for the race.
Comment on YouTube that says, from Narrows Gaming Hole says, loved the bit where everyone punted me. GG, well played.
Oh, don't we all love a good punt that sends you and your spine flying off?
Oh man, it's just, it's bad. You get punted off by some people just have terrible luck, me included. You get hit once, you get hit by the guy behind, the guy behind, the guy behind. No one wants to race if that happens to you. I understand, but and sometimes you can't if your car's damaged to the point of having to go back to the garage. Feel bad for you, man. Hope to see you driving again, though.
But back to the tires, it's a real value when you have a driver who can be kind to the tires and actually get a lap time, or even don't get lap time, but just keep the tires fresh.
Right
it
on.
opens up so much strategy for you. Currently, Andrea Migliorini for the R Motorsports Aston Martin P39, with Howell right behind him with a Lamborghini in between them, looking to secure his position in top 40. It's a little bit biased. Yeah, always dangerous to you when you just see the car washing away. It's by the lapped Porsche, which does not want to give up the position so easily. But in reality, it's a left car, it's not beneficial to fight him. But going wide in 130 yard, never the best feeling. Oh, as we have a
That's not great. That's Wiens. That's Fiends and Varley.
Oh, that's gonna be damage for both of them.
Tragic at the end. Wow.
Oh, that was really bad. That's a huge time loss for both drivers. Probably also might be only a little bit of damage depending on how heavy the hit was. But oh, well, it didn't look that heavy, but still the subsequent impact after Wiens just rolled behind. Well, let's see what the drivers can do. Would that be maybe beneficial for Wiens if he just slammed on the brakes to prevent the car rolling, but you don't want to stay on a circuit. It doesn't look like they've lost any positions, but it's valuable time. Time is the goal in racing. You don't want to lose that. You also don't want to lose wheel, but you don't want to lose your time. Oh, it looks like there has been loss for positions. Yes, Radek Shula and Alex Rogers have gone by. So Radek Shula, after being in a provisional lead, a small mistake, dropped down, he's back into third position, and Rod, you were saying we might have a Lexus 1, 2, 3. Currently we have Aston Martin, Mercedes, Honda, Mercedes, and then 2 Lexi.
Lexi.
Also,
I mean,
Emma
yeah.
Plate in a Ferrari in P7.
Yeah, Ferrari, Jesus. Yeah, I gotta say, totally unexpected. I thought the Lexus were gonna take this. There was an accident there, and they were just gone. And the Ferrari, don't know how it got there. Just teleported. No clue.
You know, it's part of the Ferrari master plan.
Yeah, master plan. Yes.
With 10 minutes to go.
Jack Donaldson in P40 team name. I chose the wrong Porsche.
He was probably trying to select the 919, but I'm not sure the rules would allow.
Well, it's definitely some legacy cars
in a
going.
chat, Rabbi Hava, go LM go, rooting for one of his friends probably.
Let me check where they are at the moment.
Meanwhile, Alan Separi Danesi in 11 Aston Martin.
Oh, then that would be that would be it then. Alan Danesi, that would be the one.
Oh yeah.
Then. Wow, well, right now on the way to the win then, with 8 minutes and 30 to go.
But Tverain, he showed he has the pace. Maybe just trying to push him, although the gap has jumped to 0.9 seconds, so maybe pushing a little bit too much, maybe traffic would be favorable to him. We are looking at the fight till the end. And it's not over 8 minutes, about 4 laps, 5 maybe, depending on how fast they go. As we have Samuel Kruger in the Honda, who was in the top 10 at the start of the race, but you can see the race can just slip out of your hands really fast. With Verstappen behind him, he is looking to just finish in the top 40 at this point. As someone just flying off the circuit. Yeah, Rabbi Hava just confirming he was in a race earlier but had to exit. Always unfortunate when you just can't finish your race. Time you put in practicing. And it just can go. In a matter of seconds, it's all gone.
Oof, look at this. Currently following Danesi right now. There was just something weird going down just at the back. Tverain very close, but it seems that he's backed off. I think there was an off-track moment there. But yeah, sorting through this traffic in 130R, trying to get away from that missile coming behind Tverain. Look at that, making up so much ground. Seems to be that he's got a lot more pace going into the straights than the Aston does, but the Aston still manages to maneuver around in a way that makes that speed advantage not mean that he's automatically lost the, let's say, fight for the position.
Also noticing Rich Smith, you remember the Mercedes, he was also going for a good top 10 finish, maybe top 5. He sadly is now retired in a garage. And just another of the tales that are not a fairy tale.
That's... Wow, it's just... That Mercedes is just... All the pace you get, you gain, you lose by just existing. It's a bit of a shocking amount of power coming from that. And I guess perhaps he saved up in the middle of the race to get a good run now or something, or perhaps the car is just that good.
Maybe he was just resting for a little bit, trying to compose himself. And it is just half a second between them. 5 minutes to go. Who is your money on? Who are you saying is gonna win?
I think... I gotta say, I think Tverain can take this.
Okay.
It's gonna sound weird, but this Aston right now, I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to hold it these 5 minutes. Because Tverain's so up close, and Roger's 13 seconds behind. Tverain has nothing to lose right now, except a podium position. But right now, he's got plenty of time, and he can probably get away with making a small mistake and still keeping that P2 position. He's gonna go for it. If this Aston fails to defend, Tverain's got it. But Danesi, we've seen some awesome moves from him, so I'd say my money's on Tverain, but I would not count out Danesi at all just yet. But here we have the outcome down the straight. Not exactly no time yet to overtake, but we can see the intentions of Christopher Tverain to get that overtake done ASAP. But not going to happen yet.
Scare the Aston Martin off the road. Yeah, thinking the same. I think Tverain still, yeah, he has the best position, I think, to win the race. Although a slight mistake, slight wobble from the car. But with this traffic, it's only about who is in the more favorable position. And it might just help Danesi to stretch the lead a little bit more, or just slow him down enough to give Tverain that little window of opportunity.
Oh, right. We got the NSX of Shula. Let's not forget about him being chased by Veens, though they do have a bit of traffic in between. This Mercedes just in the way of this overtake happening. And Shula, unfortunately, with the time that is left, the podium position is completely out of the question. But P4, extremely respectable for a 100 grid race. Really great result if he does manage to pull through and take the flag in that position, which at the moment seems to be that way. Unless Veens has different plans.
The plans have seemed to change for Wiens, leading for the most of the race, even though he was not in the lead on track. He was in a net lead after the pit stops. But just the pace has dropped off. Maybe fatigue coming in. It's already midnight for me.
Damage.
It's going to be really close for other drivers.
Yeah. I can feel
count as well.
Yeah, I can feel some exhaustion coming on my end, and I can't imagine what it would be like to be driving in those right now. And of course, it's drivers. Once they get to the final stages, you're tired and oof, not quite. You're tired and you start making a lot more mistakes, and you just want it to end. You just want to get that position home, and that's probably what Denesi's thinking. But he's got a cool head still. Doesn't seem to make any major mistakes that would make Ryan make it through. And we're running out of time, gents. 1 minute and 30 seconds left for Denesi to defend this position and take the checkered flag in the Aston Martin for the Suzuka Big Grid RWB.
Well, it looks like to be the last lap, so final opportunity for Ryan to think of something, maybe dive into place Denesi won't expect it. Maybe try the slipstream and get linked by. It's just 0.2 of a second going into the spoon corner, and
Another
you can never count them out.
Nissan left the track again. That golden Nissan's been having issues all the race. MO plate.
I don't know, with Phil Wiley, who was maybe in contention for a podium, but currently just flying in P7 as our leaders are rounding out the final few corners.
Yep.
A little bit ahead of Christian Tverijn.
20 seconds left on the clock, and
there was a mistake from Tverijn. Denesi
crossing
the line.
And there is the mistake.
And it's 12 seconds to go. Wait, it's still 12 seconds to go. So we are doing one more lap.
5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, and we've got one more lap to go to Ryan. Oh no, 3.5 seconds behind.
It was probably a move that did not pay off.
Oh, that's not going to be good, and that is the win guaranteed for Denesi unless he makes a mistake. Ryan is not going to lose that P2 position, like I said, but a single mistake and he was out, and this is exactly what Denesi was looking for. And, well, if nothing goes wrong right now, we have our podium already set here in this last lap, the RWB Big Grid. Ryan has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, this is gonna be a big for his position. Because Rogers is just 13 seconds behind, and
Ryan has just received a drive-through penalty, and I assume that may be for track limits, and that's terrible. He's going to have to finish the race going through the pits, and that might just completely destroy his podium chances.
I don't think so. I think it will be just added to his finishing lap time. I don't know how long how much seconds.
Ooh, got some.
You could be looking at maybe 20 seconds worth of penalty. That could just drop him out of top 10, maybe even more. But we are looking at Alan, Serafini, Denesi,
And is this checkered flag right now?
Yes, it has to be.
And well,
Out of the line to win RWB big race of 100 cars. Crown
there it
Suzuka.
is, and Ryan going close. It seems, from the information that I've got, Ryan had an accident in traffic, and that just ruined his P1 chances. Serafini Danesi wins the RWB Big Grid in Suzuka here tonight. Congratulations. Ryan has obtained a 30-second penalty. We'll see how that applies to his podium.
Oh, that is looking to drop him way beyond
Oh,
top 10. I would be
that's
looking at maybe even. Oh,
so.
Roger's 13
Let's
seconds behind Shula. That's. Well, he
30.
might actually finish in the top 10. Looks like around P8, P9
But
probably.
there it is. That is Shula in a Honda going P3. That is champagne popped for the Honda team here in their home stretch.
So, from. Looks like we have at least the Lexus in P5. Edward wins from pole position. Probably not going to be entirely happy with his result, but this is how it goes.
There it is. 13th goes in. Camaletto going into that finish, finishing 14th. 13th, in fact. Now we still got plenty of people to finish this race at the moment. So let's give it some time to. Got some donuts already happening at the back. Some people are already celebrating their position, but others are still fighting for it. So let's stay tuned for just a little bit longer.
Our
See what
final finisher, Martin Schaefer, final car to get across the line.
Martin Schaefer,
Last time we saw him,
P21.
last time we saw him in P25, so managed to climb back another 4 positions. And here is your final standings.
And well, as expected, that 30-second penalty has been lethal for Ryan's chances of remaining in the top steps. And oof, that means Danesi wins, Rogers P2, and Shula in a Honda enters P3, making a podium for the Honda team. And wow, that's something. And let's see. At the moment, your finishing results are being posted just now. Just here have all of the current finishers, and it seems like only, I believe that to be 63 cars to have finished the race.
Might be somewhere around 65 cars, so
You can see
lots of
all of these.
people with loads of problems. It is bound to happen at some point
So
in these races.
approximately 40 retirements and lots of unexpected finishes. And well, wow, interesting. Final, got Farley that says he got wiped out in the lead before he pitted, which ruined that race lead that he was having. Lost tons of seconds, and in the exit he would have been still leading the race. So yeah, lots of graphic like determining where the top end is going to be. By that I mean, well, we're having accidents with the back markers, so now the top guys have to suffer for it. But it gave us a shakeup in the order that we expected. And so here is your top 20 right now on the screen. Wow. What did you expect this finish, Racer? Jeez, I don't.
Well, what did I expect? I did not have many expectations for my first event of any size, to be fair. My first commentating session, so I was looking for just a good good race, and I think we got it. Lots of action going on with these cars. close fighting, sometimes a bit too close for comfort. But I think overall it was a good sporting event.
Well, that is going to be everything from us. Thank you for joining us in watching the largest grid we've ever seen here at RWB International, Big Grid Suzuka. And if you want to tune back in, always streaming our events at RWB International. And if you want to be part of the action, you can join the Discord and attend any of our events across multiple race sims. And that is all from us. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you in the next event.
Goodbye.